Hi there, good evening, and welcome to this session. See, I very constantly, very repeatedly tell you that you just need to reach out, let me know what you need, and we will go ahead and create those sessions for you. So, there were quite a few of you who were reaching out to me over Facebook, and they basically went ahead and talked about sir snap की थोड़ी और प्रैक्टिस चाहिए है ये करना वगैरह सो यार मुझे लगा चलो साथ में बैठ जाते हैं थोड़ी और प्रैक्टिस कर लेते हैं सो in this particular session, I am going to take you through all the question types that have been asked in the English section. Plus, we will also go ahead and talk about a bit of verbal reasoning. Okay, so a few critical reasoning questions, a few statement assumption questions, and everything in between that bothers you. But before I take you through any of those things, here is your opportunity to go ahead and ask things directly right now. So, do you have any questions at the moment about the SNAP exam? If yes, go ahead, share those with me. Let's talk about those and then we'll take it up from there. So until then, those of you who are new, don't forget to subscribe. I am Vikrant. I'm your personal coach for all things related to English communication, parts of verbal reasoning, psychological aspects of preparation. iQuanta में यार सारे ना मतलब मल्टी टैलेंटेड लोग हैं तो काफ़ी कुछ कर लेते हैं हम सब. प्रांशु, अवंतिका, शांभवी, अरित्रा, सारा, देवांशी. हाउ आर यू डूइंग? Devanshi sir, will this session be held daily? Devanshi, we definitely have a plan to conduct one more session tomorrow. और उसके बाद देखते हैं ना. We've मतलब practically, if you look at it, we have gone on to conduct at least this is my 7th session for NMAT Snap. Ashish sir must also have gone on to take at least this many sessions. हाँ, so मतलब कम से कम भी 15-16 सेशंस तो हो गए. कल एक और हो ही रहा है, प्रेटी प्रोलॉन्ग्ड. तो अब वो 8 तारीख तक का दिमाग में हम लोगों के डेडलाइन था. But I know that a majority of you are writing it on 15th, some on 21st too. So we are with you, okay? Feel more than free to reach out to us. Session हो ना हो, तुम्हें क्या चाहिए? तुम्हारे questions answer हो. So do reach out to us and we would love to help you. Okay? सप्तर्षि says, सर vocab में प्रॉब्लम हो रहा है, इसका इमीडिएट सॉल्यूशन बता रहा हूं. इमीडिएट किस किस को वोकैबुलरी में प्रॉब्लम हो रहा है? हु एल्स इज फेसिंग एन इशू इन वोकैबुलरी? कम ऑन, जस्ट ड्रॉप इट इन द चैट क्विकली. हाँ, एंड देन देवांशी सेज अदर सब्जेक्ट्स टू. हाँ, कल यार आशीष सर आपको क्वांट और नॉन वर्बल रीजनिंग की मैराथन करवाने वाले. मेरी उनसे बात हुई थी तो ही सेड कि यार मैं तो 3 घंटे पढ़ाऊंगा कल. ओके और आज मैंने 9 बजे इसीलिए रखा बिकॉज दिस वाज अ स्लॉट विच वाज अवेलेबल टू मी. दिस वाज वेयर आई वाज आल्सो लाइक कि चलो अब दिन भर के काम खत्म हो गए, अब आपके साथ बैठते हैं, जो टाइम लगेगा लगाएंगे. इज दिस अ प्रैक्टिस सेशन? एब्सोल्युटली यस. Course of action, cause effect, statement assumption, statement conclusion. Shambhavi, statement conclusion is absolutely identical to inference based questions, so treat them equally. Okay, so don't really fret over them. Exact same approach use करनी है. हाँ, statement assumption, I have a few questions of statement assumption in this session today. Let's go ahead and talk about those. I also have a few questions of critical reasoning. We'd go ahead and talk about those. Cause and effect, okay, I think yes, somebody did drop a message. I forgot to add these questions. I'll see if we can. But then let's go ahead and talk about it. What is cause? What is effect? A cause is something whose presence produces a phenomenon. Okay, then we go ahead and call it a cause. And the phenomenon that is produced is basically known as the effect. For example, the fact that some of you reached out to us and said, yaar, thodi aur practice bhai. So we are organizing it. So your messages were the cause and this is the effect. तो कोई कॉज इफेक्ट में कोई बहुत ऐसा सिग्निफिकेंटली डिफरेंट नहीं है. फिर भी अगर कुछ होगा तो I'll probably, let me see, what can I do? I can go ahead and drop a tiny video, small video in our NMAT Snap batch channel. Okay, a batch group, Facebook group. I'll go ahead, drop one there, and then whatever teeny weeny issues that you may have, they can get clarified there. Okay, so chaliye, let's go ahead and start. So here are the directions for the first 15 questions. And if you read them, you'd realize these are not directions. Every question, each one of the first 15 questions comes with its own direction. You are supposed to read it and then answer the question accordingly. Okay. Fair enough. Saptrishi, I am also streaming it. So I have a parallel screen where right ahead where the YouTube video is getting streamed. So far no lag at this end. Huh? Chaliye. So let's go ahead and start. Question number one on your screen, and you notice the clock ticking. So, answers, guys, answers. Where are the answers? Why don't I see them streaming in as I usually do? Hmm. सो हमने शुरुआत आज की है थोड़े नोटी से क्वेश्चन से. हाँ, हेयर ऑफ द डॉग होता है ए. So it is an idiom. Idioms, are expressions that are not interpreted literally. Idioms have a particular meaning. And of course, while looking at the meanings, we need to go ahead and attempt it, keeping that meaning in our mind. So, very simple sa process hai. So, you know what a hangover is, right? There are times when people consume copious quantities of alcohol that leaves them dehydrated. Alcohol needs a lot of water to break down, and then finally alcohol starts pulling out the water from the brain, and that after effect is called the hangover. People say that a popular cure for hangover is one more drink the next morning. Okay, so that drink is called hair of the dog. So if somebody someday asks you, you look like in need of a hair of the dog, then you just look at him point blank and say, dude, I am a teetotaler. What do you make me out to be? What do you think I am? Okay. So जिसको नहीं आता था, now you know the meaning of one more idiom, and then if you're a Punjabi like me, you can try it out in the next wedding that you go on to attend. Here is your question number 2 on the screen. A lot of you should know the answer. सारे fashionable लोगों को पता है क्या होता है. Clock चल रही है, जल्दी बताओ. Okay, so what's your take? What's your answer? What would you want to mark? देखते हैं आप क्या बताना चाहेंगे. Devjyoti, Aritra. Absolutely bang on, guys. The correct answer is indeed option B. So, see, the idiom Holy Grail means something that you want very much, but it is very hard to get or it is very hard to achieve. So, yeah, I think such things can be referred to as an important object or an important goal. So, B definitely comes closest to it. और तुम बहुत देखोगे वो फैशन वाले लोगों में, दिस आइटम इज दिस जैकेट इज द होली ग्रेल एंड दैट हैंडबैग इज द होली ग्रेल. Okay, with that, here is the third idiom. Go ahead and share your answer. मतलब ये वाला तो ऐसा है कि मुझे लगता है अगर तुम तुक्का भी मारोगे तो शायद सही हो जाएगा, isn't it? मुझे ऐसा लग रहा, मेरी ऐसी फील सी है कि तुक्का भी मारोगे तो सही हो जाना चाहिए. So, absolutely right, guys. The correct answer here is option D. So, like a bat out of hell simply means to do something in a very fast, crazy manner. Huh? For example, when Tina saw the car moving on its own, she ran like a bat out of a bat out of hell. तो ऐसे, okay? Hasib, no. These are knowledge based areas. देखो, when it comes to vocabulary, and vocabulary here includes idioms, it includes proverbs. You, they're like a code, right? You need to know the meanings, otherwise it won't really work. But then the good thing is, you do not need to know 100% of the meaning. Frankly, in the entrance exam, even if you know the around, say, around 50-60% of the meaning of a word, most of the times that is enough for you to eliminate the answer choices and choose the right one. Most of the times that suffices. So here is the next question. Tell me what you think. Yes, Akash, I do have some CR questions. Yes. और वो ऐसा नहीं है कि क्रिटिकल रीजनिंग क्वेश्चंस इसी बार आए हैं. स्नैप एग्जाम हैज ऑलवेज गिवन अस paragraph based critical reasoning. They've given a statement assumption, statement conclusion, and we have covered each one of these topics in our classes and in our marathon. मतलब एक dedicated marathon ली थी यार reasoning की last week. Okay, so this question can get a wee bit tricky. The correct answer here will be what? So let's see. A cold fish basically means a heartless individual. So, heartless is a person who lacks empathy, a person who lacks emotion. So somebody who would appear unemotional. So, I think the closest that we have is option A. So, it's not that he's a feelingless person. He may feel, if somebody hurts him, he may feel, but he does not show empathy, sympathy, emotions towards others. And that is why between A and C, A is going to be our better answer choice. Dead killer मैंने खुद रखा हुआ है यार screen सामने. I am streaming the session parallelly. In fact, I am using that to read your messages. So far, no problems. Okay, so that was about idioms. Here is the next question. Please read the directions carefully before you answer. And in case you have a tendency not to, I'll underline the crucial part. हाँ देखो अंश, स्नैप का पेपर इजी ही आता है यार. कोई ऐसे बीच बीच में, हाँ इस बार एलआर के कुछ क्वेश्चंस मॉडरेट थे, क्यूए में कुछ क्वेश्चंस मॉडरेट थे. तो आई थिंक हाँ, देर आर सम 7-8 क्वेश्चंस दैट वी कैन कॉल मॉडरेट. बाकी सब तो इजी होता है यार पेपर. ऐसा कुछ बहुत तोड़ू पेपर नहीं आता अपना. Okay, so question number 5. So the word enervate basically means to weaken. तो ऑब्वियसली इसका ऑपोजिट क्या हो जाएगा? इसका ऑपोजिट हो जाएगा strengthen. So the answer is B. So enervate, to reduce strength or energy, to weaken physically, morally, or mentally. Decelerate is to make something happen slowly or more slowly, opposite of accelerate. Then you have push forward, तो सबको पता ही होगा. Aggravate होता है to make a bad situation worse, and therefore 53, 54, 90% accuracy. 90% accuracy बोले तो 5 गलत. बहुत बिल्कुल अंश हो जाना चाहिए. I'd be very optimistic यार. I think I'd be very, very optimistic, yes. So, but for question number 5, the correct answer is B. And here is question number 6. But this time around, I've underlined the part. So there we go. Now, the word digress means to turn aside. So you're walking on a path. Digress as a root word means to step. Die is away. So when you step away from the path that you're walking on, there was a path that was taking you towards your goal, and then you're talking about a particular topic, but then you start talking about some other topic in between. That's called digressing. And the word that is closest to you here is going to be deviate. And that is why we should choose that as an answer. Here are some sentences for you to digest. You digress to avoid talking about the real problem. The author lost a large number of fans when he decided to deviate from his normal writing style. See, notice that close by. So therefore, that's your answer. Here is the next one. हाई फ्रीक्वेंसी वर्ड है, आसान होना चाहिए आप में से ज्यादातर लोगों के लिए ये वाला क्वेश्चन. So, the word accolade basically means recognition, special acknowledgement, an award. So, for say, Mary received immense accolades for her bravery. So, the closest that we have then is award, and therefore that should be our answer, which is I think most of you are also getting it. अच्छा, रिग्रेस का ऑपोजिट लगा डाइग्रेस. नहीं नहीं नहीं, रिग्रेस का ऑपोजिट तो एडवांस होगा. Okay. Question number 8, appropriate synonym. The word is on your screen. The clock is ticking. All right. So, salubrious. Salubrious means something that is wholesome. It is something that promotes your health or your well-being. So consequently, the answer should be C. Healthful also means something that promotes health. And here is a bit of homework for you. What is the difference between healthful and healthy? सोचिएगा so that you avoid this mistake in the exam. And with that, let me take you over to your question number 9. Synonym of the underlined word. The sentences make your job easy. The clock is ticking. Okay, Devjyoti, fabulous, fabulous. Ojas, we normally use it for, you can use it for food items, you can use it for climate, etc. So absolutely. So कई जगह अलग अलग जगह यूज कर सकते हैं अपन इसे. All right, so the correct answer to question number 9 is indeed option B, that most of you have managed to get this. Aritra says both are same, helpful and healthy. Nah, they're not. So let's quickly look at the meanings. और क्या देखें इसमें? Preposterous is contrary to common sense. Preposterous is something which is ridiculous, something which is absurd, and that is why we have gone on to choose outrageous. कोई और word जिसका meaning ना आता हो? Incredible तो आपको पता ही है, something that is true but it's very difficult to believe. Astonishing is extremely surprising, amazing, and exorbitant is normally used for prices. When the prices of something are unreasonably high, we call those prices exorbitant prices. Remember? So that is that. All right. So with that, here is your next question on the screen. Synonym of felicity. तो चलिए आइए देखते हैं. फेलिसिटी मीन्स intense happiness. Felicity can also mean, when you're very well versed with something, तो उसके लिए भी हम लोग felicity कई बार यूज कर लेते हैं. So अब ना कभी कभी ऐसा होगा that you come across a question where the options can be a tad bit confusing, right? So अब इसमें अगर हम देखें तो felicity can mean happiness, felicity can mean luck, felicity can mean a condition that produces favorable result. तो अब ऑप्शंस के हिसाब से अगर जाए तो आई थिंक द बेस्ट दैट वी हैव इज डी. Okay, so this person has a knack of choosing the appropriate word every single time. Just know, felicitation is when somebody is awarded or rewarded, when somebody is publicly acknowledged. Okay, 11th. ध्यान रखना, synonym टाइमर चालू आहे. So first up, a note on the pronunciation. In this particular word, the C is silent. Okay, so the pronunciation for this word is indictment. Indictment. Okay, so indictment is a formal charge of a serious crime. So when the court says this person has committed a crime, that's indictment. Accusatory. Accusatory means suggesting that you think someone has done something bad. Entrapment, trapping somebody, tricking somebody. So basically there are times when you make someone do things that they would usually not do by tricking them. So that's like entrapment. Indoctrination is the process of repeating an idea or a belief to someone until they accept it without criticism, without question. So in a way वो brain wash बोलते हैं ना, brain wash कर देते हैं, तो that's indoctrination. And inducement is to do something in order to persuade someone, right? When you induce, you do something in order to persuade someone or convince someone to do something, to act in a certain way. For example, in the world of cricket, there are times when the bowlers can induce an edge from the batsman, right? So the best answer here otherwise is going to be option A, accusatory, and thus that is that. Here is the next one, question number 12. ध्यान रखिएगा, I was asking you for synonyms so far, but this one is antonym. What's your take? एक ना बड़ा पुराना गाना है, मेरे घर में बजा करता था, जिसमें एक लाइन थी, तुम दिन को कहो रात तो हम रात कहेंगे, जो तुमको हो पसंद. Now why am I talking about this? Because people who are obsequious, they have a tendency to act or behave in this particular manner. सो हिंदी में हम बोलते हैं ना, चमचागिरी करना, चापलूसी करना, attempting to win favor from some influential persons through flattery. Well, that's obsequious behavior. Okay, and we're looking for antonym. Mind you, had the question asked for a synonym, I would have picked up subservient. That's a synonym. But I am looking for an antonym, so we'll rule it out. So in obsequious, you try to please them through flattery, but it can be irritating. But then we have an even better answer choice in offensive, where you are actually offending them. Right? Offensive is the act of attacking someone, the act of making someone angry. Right? Dignified. Somebody who has dignity, stateliness, formality in appearance. Irritating तो सबको पता ही है भाई. Oh yes, Ojas has given us another lovely synonym of the word, and here is that. I absolutely love it when we look at the chat and it enriches all of us. Huh? So sycophant, absolutely. Next question. So you know that we got fill in the blank questions in vocabulary. We got two questions. One question had one blank, another had three blanks. तो हमें इनको भी करना है. मैंने इसमें टाइमर नहीं लगाया था बिकॉज आई थॉट कि यार 20 सेकेंड्स शायद बहुत कम रहेंगे फिल इन द ब्लैंक के लिए, बट आई थिंक 30 seconds शुड सफाइस. So give me a sec. I'll just put a 30-second timer in these questions at least, and then I will give it to you. Let's go ahead and look at it. Okay, give me a second. I've forgotten to plug in the power source. ऐसा ना हो सेशन बीच में बंद ही हो जाए इस चक्कर में. तो तुम जब तक ये सवाल कर रहे हो, मैं जरा कॉर्ड प्लग इन कर देता हूं. ओके, डन विद दैट. और इसके बाद आई विल ऑल्सो बी एबल टू kind of take you guys through with this without any worry. All right, so let's go ahead and check. Fill in the blanks with the most appropriate word. Some of our external problems have completely dash our national leaders. So basically they have, if I don't give you choices, what would you say? That they have confused our national leaders, they've perplexed our national leaders, they've bothered our national leaders. So people who are in a position of power, when they are confused, when they are perplexed, we basically choose baffled. And therefore in this particular question, we need to go ahead and okay, blustered basically is used for something like a storm. When you see a storm which is how do I put it? Which is beating fiercely. हाँ, होता है ना कई बार तूफान बहुत तूफानी हरकतें कर रहा होता है, तो तब बोलते हैं. Then blustering can also mean to speak in a loud or angry manner. So won't really fit into this particular blank. So baffled is going to be the best option. Here is your next question, and go ahead, give it a shot. I don't think we need this. We can remove it. Oh yes, confound could have gone. Befuddle could have gone. Ojas is on a roll today. Biswadeep, bewildered, yes. That could have worked. Perfect. Okay, so we are talking about loss. Commendable is praiseworthy. Can a loss be praiseworthy? I don't think so. So we can definitely eliminate it. Then voluminous, something that is available in great quantity, but then we don't really use voluminous with loss, so you can rule it out. Colossal is basically to a large degree, to a large extent. So yes, if you suffer immense loss, you can call it colossal. So this can go. Comprehensive loss won't make any sense in this particular case because it's a strike. Had there been a fire or something that led to total loss, then yeah, then maybe we could have used comprehensive. So the best answer, as all of you've chosen, is colossal. Then 15th. So we got one question that had two blanks as well. So here's a two blank question. Go ahead and tell me what you think the answer should be. Wow, some of you are good. Okay, so first up, you see this word puckish. Puckish is a person who likes to crack jokes about other people. It's a person who loves to play silly tricks on them. So puckish is basically somebody who's a prankster. Somebody who's puckish is someone who's mischievous, impish. Okay, so that's the meaning. Then you have querulous. Querulous means somebody who constantly complains or whines. Loquacious means somebody who talks a lot. You've heard of this word called verbose. So loquacious लोग काफ़ी बात करते हैं और ज़रूरत से ज़्यादा words use करते हैं अपने आप को express करने के लिए. Perplexed means baffled, puzzled, confused. So now that you know the meanings of all the words, I think one very strong clue here is that the mood of the usually quiet mentor. So he's usually quiet. So what is he doing today? He's not being quiet. Which word tells you he's not quiet? Loquacious. So B or C on the base of the first blank. And this is going to confuse the interns, right? So perplexed will be a better fit than querulous, and that is why option B. So that's 15th question. Here are the directions for the next set. So I've already taken you through an entire series on grammar. So grammar पे बहुत ज़्यादा सवाल नहीं दे रहा हूँ, just touching upon them. So I'll give you some questions. Your job is to identify that segment of the sentence which contains a grammatical error and mark that as your answer. In case there is no error, in case all those segments are okay, you'd also have a choice to choose no error. Ready? Grammar में कोई concern, कोई question, anything that you want to ask in grammar? Anybody? ये ना एक्चुअली लाइव क्लास में ना वो थोड़ा लैग होता है, तो मुझे बीच बीच में थोड़ा सा वेट करना पड़ता है कि अगर किसी को कुछ पूछना है, कोई कोई इफ आई आस्क्ड अ क्वेश्चन, देन यू आर एटलीस्ट एबल टू वेट एंड गिव मी द आंसर. ओके, सो चलिए लेट्स गो ahead एंड स्टार्ट. Let's attack these. So here is your question number 16. Go ahead and tell me what you think. Huh, Aishani, we can do that, but then that word was not there in the options, so therefore we chose a synonym. पकिश में यार वो प्रैंकस्टर है, बट वो प्रैंक करना यूजुअली क्वाइट का ऑपोजिट प्रैंक नहीं होता ना. इट्स नॉट द परफेक्ट ऑपोजिट. Somebody who does not play silly tricks, the opposite of it will be somebody who does not play silly tricks. And a person who does not play silly tricks, is he usually quiet? Think. तो जरूरी नहीं है. सप्तरी से सर फिगर ऑफ स्पीच रिवीजन कब कराएंगे यार? मैंने एक दो सवाल आज डाले तो हैं, तो कर लेना. ये तो प्योर नॉलेज बेस्ड एरिया है यार. फिगर ऑफ स्पीच तो वोकैबुलरी जैसा ही है ना. पढ़ लेना. barely take you half an hour, and if you are not very sure, ask me. So the answer to question number 16th is A. The subject of the sentence is the group of nurses. The noun that comes after the preposition is never the subject. So the subject, the core noun in the subject here is group, which is singular. That is why is. Okay. अब मैंने अभी क्या बोला? The noun that comes after the preposition is never the subject. But then, dude, English hai, there are going to be exceptions. So there are two exceptions to it. Okay. But apart from that, whatever comes after the preposition does not act as a subject. That usually acts as an adjective. Okay, so it should be is. So that's why A. Question number 17. Tell me what you think. अरे रुको, ये तो भाई ऊपर आ रहा है हमारे जगह के. वो हमारी जगह को, हमारे सेंटेंस को खा रहा है यार. ये ऐसा नहीं करना चाहिए इसे. हाँ, अब ये ऐसा नहीं कर पाएगा. सो करते रहो. चलो बताओ. Yes, Biswadeep. I love it when you also tell me the error apart from the answer. Fabulous. Super. इस क्वेश्चन में काफ़ी टाइम मिल गया तुम लोगों को. जब मैं टाइमर ये थोड़ा साइड पे कर रहा था, तो अब तक आंसर्स आ जाने चाहिए थे. Okay, so the answer here is A, and the reason is, look at this word bacteria. Do you realize that bacteria is plural and the singular form of bacteria is bacterium? So when you talk about a or an, they can never be used with a plural noun or an uncountable noun. So this a has to go. An outbreak of the deadly and incurable disease caused by bacteria, या फिर a bacterium. I think that'll be a better fix. Caused by a bacterium, because we are talking about a particular strain, so bacterium use karna better rahega. In either case, the correction has to be in A. Here is question number 18. Tell me what you think. Ojas, if you liked the previous question, I think you will love this one. Okay, so look at this carefully. We waited hours at the airport. The boarding would not start, which very clearly tells you that you are there to catch a plane. But look at what the sentence says. How can it be a train at an airport? So that is why the answer is B. I know that some of you would look at, we waited hours at the airport is wrong, we need to have a for here. You can put a for, that's right. This particular structure is right even without a for. अब गलतियां करवानी भी तो होती है ना मुझे तुमसे. There are times when I try to lay down a trap to ensure that you make a mistake. I waited hours for her at the canteen, but she did not come. So वो सही है, बट एयरपोर्ट पे ट्रेन नहीं आ सकती. हाँ, सो ओजस बता कैसा लगा, पिछले सवाल से ज्यादा मजा आया. हाँ, okay, so that's grammar. Now for 19th to 22, each one of these questions, please solve them on the basis of the individual directions that are provided to you. Okay, so in these we are mostly going to veer towards reasoning. Okay, so ये थोड़े reasoning के सवाल करते हैं. आ जाओ. इनमें मैंने टाइमर नहीं है लगाया, तुम करो. नहीं लगाया ना? अरे लगाया, बट ये अनफेयर है. मतलब टाइमर तुम ऐसे देख लो, बट इस क्वेश्चन में यू कैन गो अहेड एंड टेक मोर टाइम. हसीब, बाद में ना जस्ट गो अहेड, रीड दैट सेंटेंस अगेन एंड देन टेल मी इफ इट मेक्स सेंस. Okay, so in 19th, the correct answer is A, and everybody has gotten this right so far. So that's fantastic. In case there is anybody who is confused कि यार ये क्या हो रहा है, कैसे आ रहा है, you just need to look up this area called logical connectives or logical consistency. It is also at times called conditional syllogisms. So उससे देख करके भी आप इसको कर सकते हैं. ठीक है? Here is the next one. सलिल, तुझे सच बताऊं, कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता यार. And I'll tell you why. At the end of the day, your experience is determined by the teacher. It is not determined by the logo. And similarly, the teacher's experience is also determined by the student. What have logos got to do with it? हाँ, कभी कभी ये होता है कि हाँ, मे बी यू गेट बेटर वर्क कल्चर, better work conditions, better pay, etc. Those things can make you happy. But एक जो fundamental relation है ना तुम्हारा और मेरा, वो तुम्हारा और मेरा रिलेशन है, उसमें लोगोस से कोई फर्क थोड़ी पड़ता है. अच्छा यशी, वो सबने सही आंसर दिया था तो मैंने एक्सप्लेन नहीं किया, बट शॉर्ट में बताऊं, जब भी आप वेनेवर देखते हैं तो उसका बेसिकली मतलब क्या होता है कि इट इज अ सफिशिएंट बट नॉट नेसेसरी कंडीशन. आई डोंट नो वेदर इट मेक्स सेंस टू यू और नॉट, बट एक बार सोच के देखना. अदरवाइज रीच आउट टू मी ऑन द फेसबुक ग्रुप, टैग मी देयर, आई विल हेल्प यू विद इट. ओके, स्क्रीनशॉट लेके डाल के टैग कर देना, वहां बात करेंगे फिर हम लोग. So 20th guys, 20th, what's your answer? Critical reasoning, paragraph based. 4 सवाल आए थे अभी स्लॉट में, 8 तारीख को वाले पेपर में. So, okay, so I think a large chunk of you are picking up C. which is indeed right. Was the professor strict? We don't know. But if some of us are also confused about B, let's see. Say the readings were only guideposts for the assignments. You can conclude it from this part. Lot of readings, but the assignments seem to focus on anything but the readings. It was almost as if the readings were a takeoff point only. So we can conclude B from this. The question is, which of the following cannot be definitely inferred? Or in other words, you're looking at four options. Three of these are true, one is not true, and the one that is not true is supposed to be marked as our answer, right? So therefore C. Here is the next question. Take your time, tell me. दिवांशी इंस्टा पे यार, इंस्टा मैं ना ज़्यादा यूज़ करता नहीं हूँ यार, तो इंस्टा पे आई थिंक मैंने कभी किया भी नहीं है। इंस्टाग्राम मुझे सीखना भी है, तो इंस्टाग्राम लाइव करके देख लेते हैं। लेट अस सी, मैं किस दिन इंस्टाग्राम लाइव लेके देखता हूँ डाउट्स के लिए। अगर आई थिंक इफ मोस्ट ऑफ यू गाइज आर देयर एंड मोस्ट ऑफ यू गाइज फाइंड दैट मोर कंफर्टेबल, then I don't mind adapting to that. So, yeah. मैंने इनफैक्ट एक बच्चे के मदद से अभी हैंडल भी बनाया था यार अपना इंस्टाग्राम पे। था क्या, मुझे खुद याद नहीं आ रहा। Okay. All right. So, what's your answer here? What's your answer here? Some of you are not on Facebook. यार सच बताऊं, एक्चुअली तो ज़्यादातर यंग लोग फेसबुक पे हैं ही नहीं। पीपल हियर हु आर ऑन फेसबुक, दे आर एक्चुअली ऑन फेसबुक ओनली फॉर iQuanta. iQuanta नहीं होता तो उनको कोई लॉजिक ही नहीं था होने का इधर। तो चलो करें। देर आर टू कंटेनर्स इन अ रूम, यू हैव अ बॉक्स एंड यू हैव अ कैन. What do we know? We know that the can is big, which means that this box is small and green. This is purple. Purple one has toys in it. So, most definitely true. आप क्या pick करें? See, the box does not have toys in it. Yep. सही कह रहे हैं आप. The can has toys in it. Yup, ये भी सही है. तो इसमें C and D both are right. अब ये मैंने पता है क्यों दिया. It is an actual previous year question. So you know there are times when examiners end up making a mistake, guys. So ऐसा होता है, चलता है. Okay, so here is the next one. इसमें ना I was struggling to fit the entire question onto a single slide. So you have the paragraph here. The options are on the next slide. So please read it carefully, and then you can always use the seeker of your YouTube video to refer to the paragraph again. Okay, so go ahead, take 30 seconds, read it carefully, and once again a reminder: in all paragraph based critical reasoning questions, we always start with the question stem, then we go to the paragraph, and then we go to the options. Okay, so just a quick reminder. Yes, Devina, in the actual result, in such a scenario, anybody who chose C or D got full marks. Yes. नहीं, ये तो यशी मेरा क्वेश्चन भी नहीं था, ये PYQ है. गलत दे देते हैं लोग कभी कभी, अब क्या करें. तो उसके इसमें फिर आई थॉट चलो पेपर वाले एक्सपीरियंस देते रहते हैं गलत सवालों का, मैं ही दे दूं तुमको, सो दैट यू मेंटली प्रिपेयर्ड. Anindita, I think Yashi has answered your question. C and D both are right. It's not a good question. Every good reasoning question should have one unique answer. Okay, so but as I said, paper में यार गलती कर देते हैं कई बार लोग. All right, so here are the options. Which of the following can be inferred? So you know, look at every answer choice, apply a label, true, false, can't say. If you see one option which is true and the rest of them false or can't say, then you know what to choose. The difficulty level here is comparatively higher, okay? When it comes to actual snap, you are unlikely to find a paragraph based question of this difficulty level, right? Good, good, good. Yes, absolutely correct, guys. B is indeed the right answer. So it's apparent from that statement that the education system could creatively use opportunities during the current year to broaden learning. So when you look at A, C, and D, they are either going to be false or can't say. None of them is true. B is the only one that we could conclude, and that is why that's the answer. And here are the directions for the next set of two questions. Now, if you look at the directions, you'd be like, Arey Vikrant, abhi to kiye the fill in the blanks. But if you look at the paper that was conducted on the 8th, we had two types of fill in the blank questions. So there were these fill in the blank questions that were designed to test your vocabulary, and then there were these sorry, fill in the blank questions that were designed to test your grammar. So I have taken you through a few fill in the blank questions in this session which focused on vocabulary. Now is our turn to focus on fill in the blank questions that actually rely on your understanding of grammar. So here it is. Question number 23. Give it a shot. Oops. So absolutely right, guys. The correct answer is indeed option D. So that's correct. Here is 24th. Okay, so The answer for question number 24 should be option C, and the reason is, look at the noun, okay? The noun is neighborhoods. This is plural, and because it is plural, himself will not work, it will not work. Both of these are singular, and between themselves and them, what is the difference? Both of them can act as objects. Themselves is used as an object when the subject and object happen to be the same entity, which is the case here, and that is why we should opt for C over D. So that's 24th. Here are the directions for the next 4 questions. Please read them carefully. I think ये थोड़ा font size ज़्यादा ही बड़ा हो गया है डायरेक्शंस के लिए, तो मैं इसको थोड़ा मिनिमल कर लेता हूँ ताकि हम आराम से पढ़ पाए इसे. So go ahead, tell me. So read these. So you remember these statement assumption questions? They give you a statement followed by 2 assumptions. And the options are, now I have not included options on each slide, but options क्या होते हैं? Only first, only second, both, neither. यही होते हैं ना options. So they typically correspond to A, B, C and D. Although C and D can be interchanged, there have been years where neither was C and both was D. So be a little mindful of that. Otherwise, you are all pretty sorted. Shubham, in that case, we will use itself. We'll not use himself then we'll use itself. Okay, something that is implicit is something that is unstated, something that is contained within. So you remember the definition of an assumption from our classes, right? An assumption is an unstated premise. So you can call it implicit. Explicit, on the other hand, is something that is clearly spelled out, clearly stated. So here you go. Question number 25th on your screen. Tell me what you think. Ronit, are we sure? Yes, Biswadeep, that have was also a clue, absolutely. Ojas, I could not understand your comment. Maybe just try rephrasing it once. Okay, so it says everyone does not need to build 100 crore or 1,000 crore company. Now, first says the figures are for the turnover of the company. Let's negate it. The figures are not for the turnover of the company. Can I still make this statement? Yes, I can, because there are times when you call a company 100 crore or 1,000 crore on the basis of their market cap and not on the basis of their turnover. So you can call a company 100 crore company even if it does not have 100 crore turnover. Why? Because market cap. अभी आज ही आया था ना, कौन सा स्कैंडल चल रहा था यार, कौन सी कंपनी थी एक, I forgot, SEBI launched an investigation and stock manipulation, etc. There are people who can increase their market caps. So first is not an assumption, and so is second. He's saying you can make it small, you can make it big, you can make it super big, your choice. So there are distinctions. So we are not saying there is no distinction, just that it is your choice whether you want it or not, and therefore our answer to this question should be neither first nor second. I'll recommend that you, whenever you are confused, whenever there is an ambiguity, just try using the negation test. Negation test is where you take the opposite of the assumption as true and then check for the impact of that opposite on the statement. No, it was not Adani, it's something else. It was something else. अभी कल परसों आया था अदानी पे, तो आई थिंक सेबी का कोई ऐसा आया भी नहीं है, इट्स a smaller company. Okay, next question. Just try negating second. All the first class graduates may not possess good communication skills. Now that I've negated it, is it still possible for us to release the same employment advertisement? Yes. There can be some who do not have good communication skills. We want those with good communication skills. So yeah, it still can be made. So second is not an assumption. So your answer is going to be first or neither. Which one will you choose? So first says many with good communication skills will not respond. The negation is will respond. I don't know. I mean, I have a problem with this will here. Had it been may, then yeah, but then actually, whenever you release an advertisement, what is a fundamental assumption? Fundamental assumption is that those who satisfy these criteria may apply. Your assumption is not that they will not apply. It's first already contradicts it. So the person who released this advertisement, if that person believes that many with good communication skills will not apply, why will he release that advertisement then? And that is why even first can be ruled out, and our answer here should be neither. Okay, so 27. What's your take? All right, so let's see. Looking at the answers. So, considering that this word is meant only for ABC disease, yeah, this is right. This is an assumption. So, both of them. So, I think first and second both, if you've chosen that, then absolutely all right. Augustus, what is the huge trouble? Tell me. ऐसा क्या हो गया भाई? हाँ. And the rest of you, go ahead and look at the next question. C was the right answer, or both first and second was the right answer. Or ऐसे Augustus, don't use such huge words like huge trouble. Huh? That worries me. यार मेरा it raises my heartbeat. So I'd love to help you. Tell me. did they do that? Okay, so traveling by trains rather than cabs is more convenient and economical in Paris. Paris is an expensive city. Can I say Paris? Okay, let's just negate. Paris is not an expensive city. This statement can still be made because the cabs can be expensive. Expensive cabs do not necessarily make the entire city expensive. So you don't have to assume that the entire city is expensive. And mind you, if the entire city is expensive, how are trains cheap then? So you realize that they are also coming in conflict. So first can be ruled out. Then look at second. Train services are reasonably good in Paris. Okay, now my trick is whenever I solve these questions, I adopt a first person point of view. What do I mean by that? Now I'm saying that I am making this statement. I am saying it to others. So I am talking to you and I am the one who's telling you, yeah, traveling by train rather than cabs is more convenient and economical in Paris. So when I say this, do I need to assume second that train services are reasonably good in Paris? Hell yes. If I believe that train services are not good in Paris, why will I call it more convenient? So without this assumption, I'll not be labeling it as more convenient. So second is a necessary piece of information that has to be brought in order to arrive at that conclusion. So in this particular case, our answer should be only second. So it's not neither. So you get the drift? And here are the next two questions for you. Please identify the figure of speech used in the segment that has been given to you. Figure of speech बताना आपको. बता पाओगे? पता है? Once again, any question about figure of speech? Anybody? Is there something that you want to ask before we launch into our questions? तुमको ध्यान है ना स्कूल के दिनों में तुमको फिगर ऑफ स्पीच पढ़ाए थे, उनको लिटरेरी डिवाइसेस बोला हो सकता है, फिगर ऑफ स्पीच बोला हुआ हो सकता है, different things that we actually go ahead and use, right? So Udhyana, I think the simpler ones, metaphor, simile, those kinds, those varieties, that's the one that we are talking about really. Okay, so उस तरीके की चीजें. But हाँ, the deal is when it comes to Snap and for that matter when it comes to ZAT, both of these exams can go ahead and use poetry to make the things difficult for you. Okay, so try this out. Question number 29. Read this poem. अच्छा 20 सेकेंड टाइमर थोड़ा कम रहेगा तो मैं 10 सेकेंड का हेड स्टार्ट दे रहा हूं, फिर हम बात करेंगे. ओ यार ये फिर पूरी क्लास हो जाएगी भाई उसकी, ये पूरी क्लास हो जाएगी. मैं एक काम करता हूँ, मैं ना फेसबुक ग्रुप में बने रहो, मैं बीच बीच में कुछ रिवाइज करवा देता हूँ वहाँ पे, कुछ ना वीडियोस डाल दूंगा जिसमें फिगर ऑफ स्पीच की बात की होगी. सो इफ यू आर देयर इन द एनमैट स्नैप ग्रुप, आई कैन पोस्ट इट देयर. इफ यू गाइस आर नॉट इन एनमैट स्नैप ग्रुप, लेट मी नो. कैट प्रिपरेशन वाले ग्रुप में डाल देंगे, उस केस में आ जाओ वहाँ पे. ओके, एनाफोरा रेपिटेशन तो सेम ही होते हैं यार, बस ये है कि एनाफोरा में देयर हैज टू बी द बिगिनिंग विच इज द सेम. पन एंड ट्रांसफर्ड एपिथेट, एंटीथेसिस एंड, अरे यार राधिका, यू आर आस्किंग मी अ ट्रिकी वन. ऑगस्टस टफ लक यार, टफ लक मैन, टफ लक. अब कोई बात नहीं यार, अगली बार ध्यान रखने का. हाँ, सो इसमें क्या किया गया है? होप इज द थिंग विद feathers that perches in the soul and sings the tune without the words and never stops at all. So hope को पर्सन नहीं बनाया. फेदर बंदों के होते हैं क्या? लोगों के कब से फेदर होने लग गए? ये कौन से लोग आ गए तुम्हारी जिंदगी में, मखमली मुलायम फेदर्स वाले है टेडी बेयर टाइप, कहाँ से पर्सोनिफिकेशन हो रहा है ये? It's a metaphor. Hope is being compared to something that has feathers. So basically, अरे hope is being compared to a bird. So इसको क्या बोलते हैं? Metaphor. But because that metaphor is found throughout the stanza, you can go ahead and call it an extended metaphor. So that'll be better. So she calls hope is the thing with feathers, yani ke bird. Then there are these bird images in the other two lines too. Perches on the soul, sings the tune. So when you extend, when you drag out that metaphor, you call it an extended metaphor. Okay. Personification, when you treat an inanimate object as a person. Simile, when you compare two unlike things using words like, as though. Hyperbole is exaggeration. जैसे अगर मैं तुमसे बोलूं कि यार ओ मैं आई हैवंट सीन यू इन सेंचुरीज, दैट्स अ हाइपरबोली. ओके, एंड हियर इज द नेक्स्ट वन. गिव इट अ शॉट. विशाल सर सॉरी लेट हो गया, कोई बात नहीं भाई, रिकॉर्डिंग अवेलेबल है, देख लेना. ओ ओमकार, अगर क्वेश्चन ध्यान में आ रहा है तो बता दे यार, शेयर कर दे. हाँ, बेसिकली कोई भी गवर्नमेंट इशूड वैलिड फोटो आईडी प्रूफ इज व्हाट वी नीड. ओके, he watches from his mountain walls and like a thunderbolt he falls. So he is being compared to a thunderbolt with the help of like. So अगर like आ गया तो क्या बोले? Simile. Like नहीं होता तो metaphor. What is alliteration? Alliteration is what? क्या बोले? Front end rhyme. When you see two words and both of them happen to have the same consonant sound at the beginning, then you will call it alliteration. जैसे आई ये देखा आपने हिंदी न्यूज़पेपर वगैरह जब इंडियन क्रिकेट टीम की बात करते हो, देयर वाज अ टाइम व्हेन सौरव गांगुली वाज द कैप्टन, सो द इंडियन क्रिकेट टीम वाज सौरव के सूरमा. देन केम धोनी एंड दे बिकेम धोनी के धुरंधर. देन केम विराट कोहली एंड द टीम बिकेम विराट के वीर. That's alliteration for you. So see, I can say I had a hectic Friday. I can also say I had a frantic Friday. Now when I write frantic Friday, you notice it sounds more beautiful, right? And that's because of the alliteration. और हसीब ने लिख दिया नवीन नीडेड न्यू नोटबुक्स. हाँ, वो ज्यादातर टंग ट्विस्टर्स दे आर. चंदू के चाचा ने चंदू की चाची को, हाँ, शी सेल्स सी शेल्स ऑन द सी शोर. ज्यादातर लॉट ऑफ टंग ट्विस्टर्स आर एक्चुअली एग्जांपल्स ऑफ or good examples of alliterations. Yes, so that's what I had planned for you today. If you need anything else, do leave me a comment and I'll see how best I can go ahead and help you with that. But before I sign out, here is something that I want to leave you with. याद है वो मूवी देखी थी, ये जवानी है दीवानी, जिसमें बनी की स्टेप मदर उसको बोलती है जब उसके पापा गुजर जाते हैं, तो अरे वो समझते थे कि अपने सपनों के पीछे भागना, अपनी कीमत पे जिंदगी जीना कितना मुश्किल होता है. तो दम लगता है यार, करेज चाहिए, बट हो तो जी जाती है वो जिंदगी फिर. सो डेयर टू लिव द लाइफ you always wanted. You can go ahead and create it. हाँ हसीब, absolutely there were many more. There can be a vaster variety, yes, but मैंने देखे नहीं यार अभी तक questions. Ojas says, can we have more sessions? Ojas, there is a session taking place tomorrow. आशीष सर ले रहे हैं. हाँ, तो आप बिल्कुल इसे अटेंड कीजिए एंड देन चेक. इसी यहीं पे आपको प्लेलिस्ट मिलेगी यार, मैंने पूरा ग्रामर रिव्यू करवाया है अभी. उसके पहले वीआर का एक सेशन लिया है आई थिंक, बट वो शायद फेसबुक पे ग्रुप में लिया था, तो देख लीजिएगा वेयर वी कैन हैव. ओके रक्षित, वो यार एनमैट स्नैप वाला ना हमारा एक फेसबुक ग्रुप है, उसमें किया था आई थिंक, और कहीं किया नहीं था. ओ यशी, आई एम रियली ग्लैड दैट यू एंजॉयड इट. सो डोंट फॉरगेट टू लाइक द वीडियो, हाँ, एंड इफ यू सिंस यू आर न्यू, सब्सक्राइब. विशाल, मिडनाइट कहाँ हुई है यार, अभी तो शाम जवान है. हाँ, तो चलिए, until I see you next, stay safe, stay focused, stay in touch. Let me know what it is that we can help you more with, and we do have a marathon happening for quant and reasoning tomorrow. Do tune in for that. Until then, take care and have a great time.